What's up, adventurers, and welcome to the debut episode of Ludicrouz Battlez. Today, we have an epic matchup between these two supernatural board games, Jumanji vs Zathura. We'll determine which game possesses the greater challenge to conquer in real life. Remember, a key detail about the games is that once you start playing them, you cannot stop until the games are finished. These two iconic games bring the adventures to you, for whatever you read from the game itself becomes reality, and the adventure is different each time. Just don't get caught cheating, leaving the video before we have a winner. For this matchup, we will be going off of the movies of Zathura and the original 1995 classic, Jumanji. When debating which of these legendary board games is more difficult, we've outlined three key categories. The categories which we deem more difficult will win the round. These categories being the playing field itself, the challenges they face in the game, and the assistance provided by those emerging from the board game itself. Now that we have the categories and what we are debating on, let us roll up our sleeves and cast our die, or press that button. Let us see what number we land on to see if we will be saying Zathura or Jumanji at the end. We will first start things off with the playing field. For those that play board games and card games know that a playing field has a major role in how the game will turn out. Just like one of my all-time favorite childhood games growing up, Candyland. Understanding the game can help you be victorious or have the jaws of defeat on top of you. Granted, luck does have a part of any board game. Even Yami Yugi and Yugi Moto, who is known as the king of games, had to learn this at Duelist Kingdom Island. Let us kick things off with Zathura, a two-player board game in which you press a button that can land on numbers 1 through 10, which will determine the number of spaces you can move forward. Zathura takes place with two younger brothers, Walter and Danny. Danny finds the board game in the basement and brings it to his brother Walter to play the game with him. Danny inserts a key and presses the button that starts the game. The two boys quickly realize that their house has been teleported to somewhere deep in space and they will not be able to leave their house, which has now become their playing field.
Toto? I have a feeling we're not in Kansas anymore.
Now that Zathura's playing field has been established, let us see the playing field for Jumanji. Jumanji is a board game that can have up to 4 players. The movie takes place in a town called Brantford, New Hampshire. It starts with Alan and Sarah playing the game. Alan rolls only to get sucked into the game and wait until a 5 or an 8 is rolled. Sadly, Sarah leaves the house in terror, everyone thinking Alan is dead, leaving their game unfinished for 26 years. Later, 2 children, Judy and Peter, move into the abandoned mansion where they hear noise coming from the attic, where they find the board game Jumanji resting, and start playing the game. It starts in the mansion, but quickly escalates to the whole town becoming the playing field itself. With both playing fields now established, let us break things down with which playing field is more difficult to play in. In Zathura, our players find themselves trapped in their own home, but with a cosmic twist, being confined to a space station deep in space. In comparison, Jumanji's board game unfolds across the entire town of Brantford, New Hampshire, with the whole city as their playing field. It becomes easier to work with, as if a place becomes too dangerous to stay at, they can flee their location and find a safer location to continue to play in the game. Comparing this to Zathura taking place inside a home floating in space, there's no room to evade trouble, and they must overcome the challenges head on. After looking at the facts, I will give the first round to Zathura. For every game, you must overcome the challenges of bad rolls, terrible luck, on cards drawn, and what we hate most, cheaters, aka Deflategame. Both these games have terrible punishments. For those that cheat in Jumanji, you get turned into a monkey. Just like when Peter tried to roll when it was not his turn, while in Zathura, Walter thought his little brother cheated and moved the piece back a few spaces, causing him to be ejected into space. Both these board games, there are a lot of challenges that the players had to overcome, but I am only going to hit the ones that have the most impact on winning or losing the games, as not all challenges have the same degree of difficulty. In Zathura, the first challenge the boys overcome is the meteor shower, where they quickly take the card's advice and take evasive action. Difficult, but not once they found cover, it was the easiest to overcome. When they get to the card, this jumped the degree of difficulty with the star's gravity field pulling the house towards it. If Danny and Walter did not grab onto something and hold on tight, this could have led to a game over for them. Now these two don't even compare to the 2 most difficult challenges the children must overcome. Walter spins and draws one of the worst cards in the game we see. Your robot is defective. This makes a large robot with pincher-like hands that can equip a saw blade to itself. It also believes you to be an alien life form that it must be removed from the game. What makes this even harder is the robot does not even leave after your turn is over. You must either make the robot take enough damage or get lucky to have the reprogram card to have it truly attack the alien life forms. Finally, we have the Zorgons, a lizard alien species that eats meat and are attracted to heat sources. These aliens can not only destroy your playing field as they attack the house that Danny and Walter and the group were in with spaceships, they also board the house and look for prey to eat. The Zorgons take the board game onto its ship where they were going to destroy the game, which would leave everyone stranded in the game. This does not happen thanks to Danny grabbing the game off the ship heroically. Not many things can stop the Zorgons, as the astronaut had to set the couch on fire to delay them longer, but they came back with a larger fleet. Only 3 things we see can stop the Zorgons. First, the robot that is able to be reprogrammed, winning the game, or pushing a piano down the stairs which is able to knock it out for a bit. Other cards involve freezing a non-player for 5 turns, moving up spaces or back spaces, and the wild card, a shooting star. This card can be a double-edged sword though. You can wish the end of the game, or get trapped in the game like what happened to the astronaut when he wishes his partner away. Now on to Jumanji. From bats to a lion, blood-sucking mosquitoes, trouble-making monkeys that cause mischief, 8-legged spider freaks, quicksand, and a stampede of animals. All these challenges are what Judy, Peter, and Alan and Sarah had to face. All of these are extremely dangerous, but not the most difficult challenges they had to overcome. The first true challenge the group had to overcome is to face the vegetation growth. That grows extremely quickly and it has purple pods that shoots poison needles, with yellow pods that are even more dangerous that grow large enough to eat a human and even destroy a police car in half. I do not know about you, but Mother Nature can suck sometimes, as Alan and the group had to go through 2 kinds of natural disasters: an earthquake that split their house in half, and a monsoon that floods the house and brings a couple of friends with it. Too bad we can't hear the ticking clock to know that the crocodiles are coming. This leaves us with the most difficult challenge the group must face, as it makes you feel just like a child. Van Pelt, who is a master hunter, and though Alan rolled him, he used the others as bait and stole the game a couple of times to draw Alan to him so that he can finish his hunt. He was close to ending Alan if it wasn't for Alan rolling and calling out its name. Which leaves us with the wild card, Jumanji Imprisonment. This can hurt because a player will stay trapped in the world of Jumanji until they roll the dice, the number the game asks for. In this case, it was 5 and 8 for Alan to be released. From meteor showers to malfunctioning robots, both Zathura and Jumanji throw some serious curveballs at you. Zathura's obstacles like the gravity field and a pesky Zorgons are no joke, but Jumanji umps the ante with killer vegetation and a relentless Van Pelt. After weighing the dangers, we're giving this round to Jumanji. The stakes are higher and the challenges are more lethal. Finally, with supernatural board games like these, both games offer guidance from experienced players. But who needed it most? In Zathura, the astronaut lends a hand, guiding the boys through the chaos of deep space. He quickly helps the boys by helping hide the house from the Zorgons, by turning off all the power to the house, quickly turning off the gas, then lighting the couch on fire to draw the Zorgons away. Later, he saves Walter from being ejected into space for cheating in the game. He also gets help by making sure Walter does not wish his brother away, as he made the same mistake in the past and was trapped in the game and did not want the same fate to happen to him by giving them a pep talk as we find out that he was Walter from another timeline. The astronauts help the boys get closer to each other after the game finished. With Jumanji, Alan first saves the kids from the lion that came out of the game when a 5 was rolled that set him free. At first, he did not want to play the game with the children, as he was trapped in that world for 26 years, and warned the kids of what is to come. He later tricks Sarah into rolling the dice so that they continue playing the game. He saves Peter from the growing vines with a sword, knew the mosquitoes were coming from the sounds, saves the board game from being crushed by a stampede, and was able to track the bird that stole the game, knowing that it would be near water. Saves the kids by running the police car through the store to slow down Van Pelt, gives the kids a pep talk, and also was able to roll the dice to win the game by saying its name. Now, which game was more difficult where they needed more help to win the game? With Zathura, the astronaut did his job by keeping the Zorgons away, which are probably the most difficult for both games, with also being trapped in space and trying to keep peace between the boys. Now with Jumanji, Alan first had to overcome himself to be able to help the children, which he does. Jumanji, almost all the challenges that came out of this game could seriously hurt or kill you as well. Alan stuck with the children no matter what came out of the board game. Even when he was forced to leave them at times, he did whatever it took to get back to the group to help them finish the game. He kept the group's spirits going as best he could, with both games needing experts to help play through them. I will say that Jumanji needs the experts' help more to win the game than the astronaut. Despite the astronaut's effort, Alan's mentorships proves invaluable in Jumanji's treacherous world, as almost all the challenges they faced were deadlier combined than the Zorgons. Both did an amazing job keeping the group's spirits high as best they could. At the end of the day, the round goes to Jumanji for the 2-1 win.
Victory Screech!
If you like this content, press the subscribe button to start the adventure with us. Click that notification button to hear the beating drums so that you know you are not alone when we post. And leave a Jumanji or Zathura comment down below. Until next time, thank you for watching Ludicrouz Battlez.